Hey everyone, it's Mike Hambright with FlipNerd.com. Thanks for joining us for this episode of the Expert Interview Show, where I interview leaders and entrepreneurs from across the real estate investing industry. This is our second show of 2016, so welcome back to the new year. And if you're actually seeing this for the first time, welcome for the first time. And if you're a member of FlipNerd.com or you've been watching or listening for a while, welcome back. We're happy to have you here with us. Again, just the second show of 2016. This is episode number 286. I really, up until these past couple episodes, never really talked much about the episode numbers, but it's something that we're proud of here, so I'm going to start talking about it a lot more. We have what inherent in that number 286 is that we have 285 other great shows that you can go watch, of course, after you watch this one with Pete, because this is going to be the best one ever. But I'd like to note a few changes. I noted this in the last episode as we start the new year here, and I'm going to say it this time for the last time, is that we have a little bit different format if you've been watching or listening for a while, and that is that we're going to focus a lot more on taking action, and it's something that Pete is extremely passionate about, so I know that we're going to, he's in the right place today. In fact, look at, if you're watching us here, if you're listening, you can't see the tattoo, but if you're watching, it says, go make something happen. So Pete believes in it so much that he's got a tattoo on his arm about taking action.
That's right.
So we split the show up into two parts. The first part is to get to know our guest a little bit. And with Pete, we're going to talk about kind of a mindset for success, which is just a great thing that you could talk about anytime. The second part is really, we've actually called it Taking Action, where Pete is going to share with us today how to take action, how to literally learn to hear something that we're talking about and go do something about it. It's something that's really critical in this industry because there are a lot of looky-loos, if you will. And so don't be one of those. We want you to be successful in this business. So the second thing I want to mention is that we've gone to one episode per week instead of two. And so there'll be less shows this year, but we're going to do our very best to improve the quality and really talk a lot about taking action and stuff that you can go do something with, actually.
Actionable information, right?
That's
AI.
Right. That's right. And the third thing, the last thing I want to mention is that even though we're going from 2 to 1 episode per week, if you haven't already checked it out, we have a new show that we launched a couple months ago called REI Classroom. And we actually published 2 short shows, which are really lessons a day. 2 a day. That's 40 a month that we publish. 2 a day, Monday through Friday.
Are you kidding me?
And if you are not already watching or listening, check out the REI Classroom by visiting FlipNerd.com FlipNerd.com/classroom. Or look for REI Classroom in iTunes or whatever podcast network that you listen to, because we've got them everywhere. So for today's show, that was a mouthful. I'm joined by the one and only.
Hold on. You're pushing out 2 episodes a day.
Yes, Pete.
That equal between 10 and 15 minutes on lessons.
Pete, I saw that you had a tattoo on your arm that said, go make something happen. And I did it.
I can't even imagine the amount of work that goes into putting that together. I mean, I remember doing 5-minute videos every day with my daughters and editing them down, and it would take me half a day to do. I mean, I can't believe that you're doing 2 of them, but man, my hat's, if I had a hat, I'd take it off to you.
I will say this. We've got a process down that we're comfortable with, and it all comes down to having just really awesome guests. I have never been on the REI Classroom myself, so we actually have a process down where we record guests that we've had on the show before, generally. So high quality guests that have great information to share. Usually they're people that are at the top of their game, and so lots of great content there on the REI Classroom. So
That's
today,
awesome.
though, I'm joined by the one and only Pete Asmus. Pete, how are you, my friend?
I am doing. If I was any better, my name would be Mike Hambright. I think that's kind of how good I'm doing right now.
Awesome, man. Well, hey, I'm so glad to see you again, and thanks for coming back. As I mentioned, I actually mentioned this in the last show, if you didn't hear it, is that we're probably going to have a tendency to have, you're going to see some familiar faces on this show. We're going to have guests on that we've had on in the past. Not always. We'll have some new folks. But when you've done 300 episodes, you start to come across people that you want to work with again on one. And actually, Pete's going to talk about building up long-term relationships that you can rely on over and over again in the taking action part of the show. But also, quite frankly, we have people that just have great content, and rather than go always try to find new people, we're like, hey, we've interviewed Pete before, but we did not find out everything that is Pete Asmus and everything that he can share with us in 30 minutes and
that's right.
across the whole year. So we need to have Pete back.
I agree with that. I looked, it was April 12th was when I was on your show last year. So it literally has been, I think, like 9 months since I've been on. So I'm excited.
9 lonely months. Pete.
It has. I've been waiting by my phone for it to ring again, going, hey, do you want to be
dude.
on the show? And it's just, it's been so. But I'm here now, so I'm extremely excited about that whole thing.
Hey, happy to have you back. So, Pete, tell us for folks that don't know you, tell us a little bit about you. What makes you tick, my friend?
Well, I was going to say I'm unique. I think that everybody's unique, but I think my wife would really think and argue that I think a lot differently than other people. I had a lot of things happen when I was growing up. I was homeless. I lived on the streets, and I've really kind of fought through all of that. One of the things that you can't make me afraid of is being homeless, is being, I've had everything ripped away, right? So that bottom wasn't there for me. But when it came to really creating wealth, I knew that my grandma had done real estate. My dad had done real estate. And so I wanted to acquire and own real estate. And I started getting into it a little over 10 years ago, started in mobile homes and then rolled over into real properties. And really, I always wanted to be successful. I always wanted to make it. I wanted to be rich. It was all wants, right? And the reality is, until you take something out of the want and into the do, till you take it out of the want and into the need, out of the want and into the must have, it just sits over there. It's just an idea. It's a great thing if it would be great if it was convenient. And that's really the biggest thing. In the last issue that we did, I had our pastor write an article on convenient versus convicted. And it just... Man, I'm even getting the goosebumps right now because I wrote this article with him, and because he was like really freaking out to do it. And I said, "Look, I'll write a skeleton. You just add on another 200 words to this thing, and it'll be great." And so he did that. But what it really talked about was the difference between an employee and an entrepreneur. Almost, I mean, it was the difference between somebody that would do something if they were paid to do it, if it made sense, if it was convenient, and somebody that was doing something because there was just no other way to do it. I mean, they couldn't think of another way. I can't imagine Mike Hambright not owning FlipNerd. I can't imagine Mike Hambright not being an entrepreneur, not being a home investor, not having, years and years of success in real estate, because that's who Mike's DNA is, right? You working at McDonald's just isn't going to happen. We're not going to see you at 60 being a greeter at Walmart. And not that there's anything wrong with that, but that's not you.
Yeah.
And I think that DNA is within people. I'm sorry, go ahead and talk.
Yeah, one thing that's interesting, Pete, is and I'm not taking anything away from anybody that does anything else. I'm not trying to talk bad about anybody. But what you just said was interesting, because this is one of the things that I think is interesting about an entrepreneur. And I'm not trying to pat myself on the back or say anything. But
you are awesome. I agree. I agree.
I am awesome. Everybody, end of sentence. No, that's not what I was going to say. What I was going to say is the interesting thing about entrepreneurs is after you've tasted success, after you've had that, you could have everything taken away and be back in a month. So that there's not many people that kind of when you get to that point to where I need to take action. I have an idea and I need to go execute it. Otherwise, I'm going to be a greeter at Walmart. And again, not taking anything away from if anybody's listening to a greeter at Walmart. But in fact, if you are, let's
maybe you should call in right now.
Figure out how to take more action so you don't have to do that. But.
Well, you know what? One of the coolest moments in my honestly in this whole career has been, right? I mean, since 18 to now. And I think I said a little bit of this in the first interview with you, but I got a cool ending for it now. Was in the beginning, a year ago, I think when I was talking to you, I remember listening to, in the very beginning when I was 18, listening to if you help enough people get what they want, you're going to get what you want. Ziglar, right? Zig Ziglar. Yeah. And I heard somebody else talking about that recently, and they talked about that same exact quote. And I remember when I was young, it was always, man, I don't know anything. How can I help anybody else get what they want when I really don't feel like I have a skill set? I don't have anything. I can't create it, right? And then through all this time and all this effort and all this work and all these failures, I mean, failure after failure after failure after failure, I was able to stack all of those up and create success. I was able to create a product. And that was the first time I became an entrepreneur.
Yeah,
was when I created a product. Because I think that's the difference. A lot of people think they're an entrepreneur, but they're a wholesaler. And yeah, yes, you have your own type of business, but you don't really have a product yet. When you create your own product, like our turnkey system, it's a product now, right? So I can make 5 of these and sell them, and I'm going to make X number of dollars on each one. And as long as my product is really high and effective, high in quality, as long as my product comes in under what other people's do, I'm gonna run the market. I'm gonna be able to control it because I'm making less money, but I'm gonna get a lot more volume. And with that volume comes referrals. Flip Nerd, you've gone from, I don't even remember what it was a year ago. Do you remember what you guys were at as far as a year ago?
Pete, we had not launched the site a year ago.
Okay. That's what I'm talking about. 50,000
yeah, we launched,
members now?
I think like April or May.
So 50,000.
We had zero members. Actually, we had like 10 test accounts. We were like, hey, we've got 10 members. They're like, well, yeah, my wife's got 3 and I've got a couple.
Right. Yeah. They're all ghost accounts. But see, that's the idea. By Flip Nerd taking action, by you getting involved, by you creating a product, you were able to go out. And as that product was good and people saw that it was quality, right? It exploded. It expanded. 50,000 in less than a year. That's huge.
Yeah,
nobody grows that fast by accident, right? You grow that way by design, by having a great product. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, thanks, Pete. No, and I know, and I don't want to make the show about me. You and I know I know we're awesome. Let's not rub it in everybody's face. No, I'm kidding. But I think your point is well taken, and I know in the taking action part of the show, the second part of the show, we're going to talk about building relationships and things that will kind of building a foundation for your success. And a lot of that is, kind of what we've done here and what you're doing with a lot of things is building that platform and a network from which to kind of serve others. And so I think let's talk a little bit more about that, and we could talk about it specifically how others can kind of do those things. In terms of, I want to hear more about your story about just the mindset of, because I think a lot of people are in that situation where they think that, well, I don't have anything to give, and you and I both know probably the biggest thing that people could give if they don't have, like, let's just say relevant experience, industry experience, is hustle, because there's so many that don't have it. There's so many that are thinking about they're going to get to it forever and ever. And sometimes just having that hustle is, that's one of your biggest assets, right?
It's huge. So mindset to me is everything. What the questions that you ask yourself. I wrote a book called The Question Factor. And really the first quote I have in it is amazing to me, because it was all about the questions we ask ourselves tell us what we think we're capable of. Look, if I say to you, Mike, I've got a deal, it's $1 million, but it'll net you 10. And let's just pretend for a second that that's a legitimate deal, right? You would ask the first question, where am I going to get the $1 million? But most of the people would say, I don't have $1 million. They don't ask the question, where can I get it? They don't start to look. They just go, I don't have it. And
here's why I can't do
subject.
It.
Yeah,
here's why I can't do it.
And they just give themselves all these facts to back up why they aren't good at it, why they can't do it, right? And now you're not going to become a liar, so you prove yourself right.
Right.
It's just
won
crazy.
And lost.
Yeah. So with mindset, for me, it's all about making sure that you understand that anything is possible, that you can do anything, just not everything, right? Yeah. When we talk about, we're going to be talking about leverage and relationships in the next half. But really what that comes down to is putting together a team around you that can support your ideas and lift them to the next level, right? Now, you don't have to be an idea person. You could just be the person that maybe gets things done, but your idea is you want something bigger. You need to be around other people that want something bigger so you can all have a value add play. We're writing a book right now called The Velocity of Money, How to Raise Capital in Any Market. And in fact, I'm going to be interviewing you for one of our chapters in that. And the reason that we're writing that book is because there's a lot of people right now that are brand new in real estate. They want to get involved. They want to do something, but they don't have any of the foundations. They don't have money. They don't have the knowledge of the product. They don't have deals. They don't have any of that stuff. So in this book, what we're going to show them how to do is how to set up, how to leverage, and how to raise money by utilizing people that are doing it. So for instance, like I could come out and help them raise money for maybe a project we're doing, but they're going to make that override off of it, and it gets them involved and gets them in. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. Pete, why don't you maybe just take a minute? I want to move into the other segment here of taking action just a minute, but talk a little bit about, I think one thing that keeps people from taking action, again, a lot of people, and I do this, and listen, there's certain areas of my life where I do this, okay? In real estate and some of the things I do in my business, I'm on it usually, but stuff like,
I'm so excited about this
interview. I need to get to the gym or something like that. It's like, I'm going to get to it. And so whatever, I'm calling myself out here, but the reality is some people they find a way to make excuse in some area of their life. So specifically though, where I think a lot of people get into trouble in this regard of getting into real estate investing is that they have a job. So I want to start trying to do something part-time, and then I'm going to hopefully eventually quit and be a full-time real estate investor. The problem is it's tough to get going in real estate investing on a part-time basis. Plenty of people have done it, but it's hard. It's even harder if you're just trying to ease into it, because you have this mindset of, well, I've got this cushy paycheck or something that is at least reliable. And, you find yourself doing stuff on evenings and weekends. And some people, you have family, and there's always reasons. But maybe just take a minute to talk about how you bridge that gap if you have a job and you want to do something else.
Pain. It's pain.
Yeah.
It's the craziest thing, but it has everything to do with pain. We move away from pain. If you don't want to do something, make it hurtful, make it painful. You want to quit smoking? Start associating really bad things and nasty things with smoking. Make it painful. That's one of the biggest things, man. If there's one key that I've really understood and learned, it's making decisions quickly. And it's almost like a red light, green light. Does this get me closer to my goal? Look, if you really want to go after it and you want to do it, you start living your life in like the game red light, green light when we were a kid, right?
Yeah.
Somebody said red light, you stop. Somebody said green light, you were moving. This is the same type of thing, but with decisions and decision making. It's red light, green light. Look, does it get you closer to real estate investing? Yes or no? No, don't do it. I want to go to the football game. Does it get you closer to real estate investing? No, don't do it. Yeah. Now, as you get bigger, you'll start to get creative. Well, I'm going to invite a friend that could be a potential investor to one of these games. Hey, in that case, go for it, right?
Right.
But always be networking. Look, if you're going to do anything, there's no reason you can't do something with somebody that you enjoy being around, right? And somebody that could potentially be an investor, somebody that you could potentially do business with. I mean, I definitely have some friends that don't invite me over to social events sometimes because they're like, look, all you talk about is business. And they're right. I mean, they are, because the moment I meet somebody, if they're brand new, the first thing I'm going to do is go, hey, Mike, what do you do? And you're going to say what you do. Great. If you could do anything in the world, what would you want to do? And that's what I'm going to find out, because I want to find what your hot button is. Look, if you say, I would want to go and dance naked in Africa, if that's not something I'm interested in, well, we probably don't have a whole lot in common.
You can't help that person out.
Right. If I can't. But if you said, man, I want to get more, I want to own my own business. Like, I'm just looking for different things that I can basically hone in on and go, I can help you with that. Because my thing is all about adding value to those around me.
Awesome. Hey, everybody, it's time for the taking action portion of our show. If you're hearing or watching this point in the video or this part of the show, you're either watching the basic version on flipnerd.com, you're listening to our podcast on iTunes or somewhere else, and or you might be watching us on YouTube even. But we'd love for you to join us for the rest of the show. As you can see, if you're watching this video, Pete is a goofball here. He's trying to distract me. But only our pro and elite level members have access to this show. So as a pro or elite member, you not only have access to the rest of this great show with Pete Asmus, we're about to dive into some really awesome information, which is about taking action, building your network and building your platform, and then really kind of how to build a long-term foundation for success. So you'll get access to not only this show, but hundreds of other expert interviews, and you'll get real-time access to our off-market property platform. We have over 1,100 deals active right now on the site. And you'll get, in fact, if you're a pro or an elite member, you actually get real-time email and or text alerts on properties in your market that pop up. Real time. That's real time. And elite members, you get access to the best training and premium content of the real estate investing industry, including our live office hours webinars twice a month, our detailed master classes with leading experts, and access to a really incredible private mastermind group, probably the largest and most powerful in existence. We have hundreds of members actively participating, learning, and sharing knowledge together. To get access to all this, the rest of this show, and all the information we just talked about, please visit flipnerd.com/show286. This is show number 286, episode 286. So it's at flipnerd.com/show286. See you there. Are you a member of flipnerd.com, the most robust real estate investing platform in existence, where you can find off-market wholesale deals and great vendors literally in your market? You can get access to advice from experts and learn about local clubs and events right in your backyard. If not, please visit flipnerd.com and register for a free account. You can register in less than a minute. It's pretty much the coolest site that's ever existed in the real estate investing industry. So get on over to flipnerd.com.